Hello, this is Quid van Wyk speaking from Samyuk University in front of the music building. I hope to do a video number 3 on Sennacherib, Hezekiah, Taharqa, and Isaiah, and hope to give some extra information that I didn't give in the previous video. Some evidence I didn't mention yet. We were talking about the dating of Lachish, and I hope to spend some time on the dating of Lachish later, not now exactly. Just to recap what I said is that there are serious consequences for the Lachish destruction dating in the two-campaign theory. It is indicated by the Oxford analysis of the third campaign by N. Matty in 2014, an Oxford dissertation, that there was no destruction of cities mentioned in the annals of the third campaign of Sennacherib. He made the statement by saying that he said it is true that Sennacherib does not say in his annals that he destroyed and devastated the land. It is true that there is more than one piece of evidence that he received a large tribute, but this does not mean the campaign was successful. This scholar analyzed in particular the different expressions used by Sennacherib, and just for the record, the guy's name is Nazek Mati. Historical reconstruction of Sennacherib's campaign against Judah and Jerusalem in 701 AD. It's a DPhil thesis from Blackfriars Hall, 2014, University of Oxford. I think I was citing page 29. Page 29, where he made this statement. This is very important because he's looking at various statements that was used by Sennacherib in order to describe his events that he used very commonly. We will go into it deeply later, but there were especially two expressions that he used. Just in brief, the first expression will always be I captured the land, I captured the city, and the second expression is and I destroyed it and burned it or killed the people and so forth. And however, what do you say about the Lachish inscription on the Lachish mural in Nineveh? There was an inscription that looked like maybe there is, you all can see this. It looked like this. What do you do with that inscription that says, and it reads, Sennacherib, mighty king of the country Ashur, in the first line. Second line, on the throne of judgment of the enemy's house, anyone, line 3, in a thin, narrow place of the city of Lachish. At the end of the line, you can read clearly Lachish. Number 4 says the first word, Mahasu, slaughtered. And then he makes a strange statement, Anaku. He used the word Anaku. He should never have put that word in. It is the pronoun, first person pronoun, saying I. I ordered it, which is di pala, anaku di pala. He should never have used the anaku because it says I. The that became a thorn in the flesh of any Jew at that time working in Nineveh and at Nineveh, and also in later times, who saw that inscription. It was the most painful experience, Lachish, for Jewish people working in and around the palace. You must remember it's second generation Jews were now, they learned Akkadian, they were working in the palace, and so they were reading these things, and it's their ancestry that was so enjoyed by this king. So it was not good. I think it was the biggest mistake Sennacherib made, in my opinion. So as far as the inscription is concerned, I couldn't find online anywhere the Akkadian text of this inscription. That is it the British Museum? That is in the British Museum. I couldn't find the Akkadian text. So what I did is I transcribed it myself. Sorry, Akkadian scholars, maybe to your shocking, you'll all be shocked, but yeah, you have a right to be shocked, but at least I tried to transcribe it and then translated it by myself and have my reading of it. So what do? He ordered the destruction of that city. Question is, when did he order the destruction of that city? Well, this is the interesting thing, is that scholars are saying that the Lachish description on the walls of his palace in Nineveh was done between, listen to this, listen very carefully, 709 to 681 BC. Scholars do not know definitely. Did you get that? You better store this information, because it's going to become very relevant as we go later. Keep it in mind that Enmati said there is no description in 701 that he destroyed any city at that time. Oxford 2014, page 29. So we've got already two things that we need to store, because we're going to need this information later. Okay, we are coming to another aspect, and that's the Egyptian sources. In 2 Kings 18, verse 20 to 22 and 25, the Rabshakeh said to the Jerusalemites, on whom are you depending, that you rebel against me? Look now, you are depending on Egypt, that splintered reed of a staff. Okay, staff is the kingship. The kingship is splintered. Splintered, why? And that's what why is the staff splintered? Shabbataka died in 690. Shabbataka died, and Taharqa is now leading. So what happened is, Shabbataka asked Taharqa, please come with me to the north. Well, they got ready. He got sick, he died. Taharqa is delayed. Taharqa got the kingship. Now he's ready to go. And so, at any rate, the original use the word that the reed is harasus. It will not help us to use the Arabic of the 7th century AD to decipher the meaning of the word. Sorry, if you look at dictionaries, they use the Arabic of Muhammad's time to explain what is the meaning of harasus. Etymology can do better than that. When a reed is crushed, the side separates, right? The reed is not like a pottery that is in many splintered in many pieces. A reed is cut into its splinters, but it separates like my fingers, just like this, right? And that's what happened with when you have two becoming suddenly this, Sabataka, Taharqa, splintered. And it was a transition time for Taharqa, and that is seen as a weakened enemy by, and in this description, the splintered. Then there is the the colonnades that I want to say something on, is Taharqa and his religious propaganda or self-establishing narrative. Taharqa was religiously concerned. Now, a study of the colonnades that he erected was done very recently, in fact, and I am looking now the colonnades. Yeah, here he is. Jeremy Hoerdien. Jeremy Hoerdien, he did a study of the Kushite architectural programs, the Taharqa column porches at Thebes. It was a 2017, it was published in 2020, but it's a 2017 Congress that they have of various papers. And he did a study specifically on these colonnades. An important part of the decoration of Taharqa's monuments happened to be that it happened in dating close to his beginning of his reign, 690, when he started to reign, 690. And he found that it was 690, close to that date, the first year, the second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, in that time zone that it happened, rather than later in the time of Montu Emhat, the who was the prime minister of Thebes, because that was in 673, 673, because he mentions nothing about these colonnades. So these colonnades that were erected indicates a kind of a religious religious propaganda, a self-establishing narrative. He had this urge that I have to legitimize myself on all levels. The gods. Amun needs to know. Amun is my god. 6 years ago, he accepted me as a king, and I was kind of getting close to Amun 6 years ago already. Today is my coronation, 690, but 6 years ago, he has the ram, and his figure is standing as a young boy, because that was the time when he was still young. See, 6 years before. He was 20 years old when he was coronated, so he was 14 years old maybe, standing between a ram's, a reclining ram, big statues. He liked to show that. He also had around his neck, you can check on the Kawa Stela. On the Kawa Stela there are two pictures of, if I can find the Kawa Stela here, I can show you quickly. Here is Kawa 4, Kawa 5. It's going to be very vague maybe, but will I be able to show you? Anyway, around his neck, if you still the picture by yourself and you look very carefully around the neck of Taharqa, he's the guy with the neck, he's got like a necklace around. There is a ram here, is Amun. That is around his neck. He used to, in all these pictures, you can recognize him by the ram that is there, and that's Taharqa. So these colonnades then were erected then, and why? An important part of this, the hidden psychology. Let's look at the hidden psychology behind it. The colonnades and the stela and descriptions before and after his coronation, the choice aspect of him as a young, selected, elementary, royal school membership training setting, the legitimizing by the god Amun of his future kingship, the coronation after his death of Shabataka in 690, all seems to point to a somewhat imbalance, I feel, of the legitimacy in context. A psychology of uncertainty, maybe, is a bit uncertain. If the king is certain about his kingship inheritance, then he does not need to display so extensively. Many statues of him between, the why is this. Number one, Taharqa was the favorite of the previous king. That's what Jourdin found, Jeremy Jourdin. He wants to say, I was the favorite of the previous king. Number two, Taharqa was the favorite, legitimized religiously by Amun, the god Amun. Jeremy found that too. Number three, Taharqa was coronated at most of the temples. Everywhere, most of the temples. Unanimously. They all the temples accepted me. And as you know, there were temple politics too. These were not together with these. But what he did is, by putting all these things there, it's like there's a unified principle here. Taharqa. Even though it's A, it's Taharqa. It's B, it's Taharqa. So it's like a unified principle that he wants to establish. In my opinion, I'm gonna summarize it. It appears as a self-authorizing, self-authenticating, self-legitimizing, self-autobiographical effort towards these objectives of his. Now, scholars may differ, but these are the way I'm looking at it currently. So there is the Kawa 4 stela and the Kawa 5 stela. In the Kawa 4 stela, you will find Shabataka is in line 8. His name is definitely there. There's no doubt. Shabataka. The taka is the T. Ta is like my finger with 3 dots underneath. Pong, pong, pong. like this, right? 3 dots. Dot, dot, dot. That is the word for land, country, land. But it's also T, ta, ta with the upside 3, and you say ta, it's land, but you use Shabataka. Now the previous king before that was Shabaka. There was nothing. Now, so, and you can clearly see it's his cartouche that is in line 8. And line 8, just underneath, there is the Taharqa and the god and god and Taharqa. Left side, right side of view of the king in the top part, but just then begins the lines. Line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When you come to line 8, just go to a little bit to the further in the middle somewhere. You will see the name of Shabataka. There's no doubt about that. And then Taharqa, his name you can see next to his head as he was standing like this. Just go up a little bit about here. There is a cartouche above his head that reads Taharqa. 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 I almost got it wrong there. Taharqa. It's Taharqa. R is before the Q. You can see that too. In 690, the falcon, Sabataka was the falcon that went to heaven. And that is also on Kawa 4. He doesn't name Sabataka. We interpret the falcon as Sabataka. But that is what happened in that time. I think I need to start thinking of closing. I said too much already. It looks like we will have to continue on 4. Anyway, I plan to write an article on this later, but for now I present the videos 1, 2, and 3 already. I will do video 4 in the near future, and I hope you will enjoy this. We all are trying to get behind the secrets that unlock the past and keep biblical. It's very important for us to keep biblical. I wonder how much time I spent on this one. I can't see, because my plan is I wanted to say more, but I'm scared. I said already, I took too much time already. So let me say, we will do it later. Thank you. Take care. Bye.